Justin Botillier, enrolled agent partner at Calyx CPAs. Today I'm going to go over the Oregon CAT tax, which is the commercial activity tax put out or imposed by the state of Oregon for everyone almost who has over $1 million worth of taxable income. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the calculation, what it is. I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing the screen with you. Hang on one second. Okay, so this is a letter that Oregon has been sending out to pretty much everybody, just informing them that if you have over $1 million or $750,000, you're going to need to register with them. And it's $750,000 worth of sales, so not net income, but gross income. And so you're going to need to register with Oregon Department Online. And then once you exceed $1 million, you will be required to file a CAT return. I believe that will all be done online. I haven't filed one yet. They're not due until the end of the year. Estimates are due, but only if you have a certain amount over the $1 million exemption, which not a lot of my clients do. And because of COVID and because this is the first year they're imposing this, they likely will not attempt to collect penalties, or if they do, they'll easily be abated because not everybody is on board with this. There's going to be a lot of people who don't file these returns, but to be good taxpayers, I recommend that you file them. Again, you need to register with the Oregon Department of Revenue after $750,000 of the gross revenue. Then the tax may apply after $1 million, less 35% of either labor or cost of goods sold. So 35% of labor, less 35% of labor, or less 35% of purchases for resale or materials and supplies expense, those kinds of things. That would be cost of goods sold. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to showing you where to register. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Google. I'm going to say Oregon CAT tax. And the first one that comes up when you Google it is State of Oregon Business Corporate Activity Tax. And here's where it has all the information about it. It applies to most organizations, but you can click on this frequently asked questions, and you might be able to see if your industry is exempt. It likely is not. There's more than what is listed here who is not subject to CAT tax, but most companies are. And if you look into it, you might be a healthcare provider that qualifies. Other than that, groceries, it looks like farmers cooperatives, but not necessarily farmers. If you sell wholesale, then you would get a certificate, and that's also another conversation on how to get a certificate from the seller saying that you're wholesale. And so right now, I'm just trying to get you guys to consider registering. And so that's what we would want to do. We would want to do first. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to just go to this register for corporate activities tax. And now there's also, it's not just one entity that if you have gross income of $750,000, it is all companies that have substantive ownership of over 50%. So if you have 3 businesses and they're all 50-50 between the same partners, then all those are considered what's called a unitary group. And they are included, you register one time for all of those companies. So I'm going to go ahead and start the process here just to give you a little bit of information, just a little demonstration. So I am a business. Putting in my name, my federal ID number. And I'm going to the next, and then it says you're going to need a mailing address. You're going to need to know when you expect to receive over 750,000. Valid email address and your business activity code. If you don't know it, you can just Google it. So I say IRS code. It's also in your tax returns, but I'll say IRS code accounting. That's the industry I'm in. And the first thing that comes up on Google is the NAICS code, and that's going to work. So I'm going to copy this for when I get to that point. So right at the beginning, it wants my IRS code, and there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put my name in here. 541-816-4483. Oops, no, I'm sorry. So work, business phone. 4483. No, it's not outside. It's already got my mailing address in there. I'm applying. Enter the date you expect to exceed. Just go with December 20th. The current section is, oh, I gotta say no. Is the account different? No. I think there's an alarm going off outside. It's very obnoxious. Do you have a revenue account online? No, I don't. I'm not a third party. And then it looks like this is where I'm going to leave you. You got to enter all this information, and then you're registered. So then reports need to be filed annually. There's an annual return. I'm going to send out another video and on how to file that return. I don't think any of you I know of at this point are required to file estimated taxes. I believe there is a form that you need to file estimated tax. I don't have that information right in front of me, but if how often am I required to pay? Okay, here you go. So let's see here. The CAT is an annual calendar year. CAT's returns due April 15th. Generally, estimated payments are due April 30th for the preceding quarter. So then, of course, it doesn't say how much you would have to pay or what that means. But right now, again, because of COVID and because this is the first year, I imagine they're going to be pretty lenient with when people need to pay. But if you are looking at having to pay over $5,000, which means you have an excess of $1 million above and beyond $1 million exemption plus 35% of your cost of goods sold, then you may want to consider filing estimated tax payments. Otherwise, it's another corporate excise tax or corporate activities tax return that you have to do essentially, which is due April 30th. So hopefully this isn't a surprise to you. Hopefully you've heard us talk about this. Hopefully you've heard about it. I've tried to reach out to everybody that I know that would be subject to it. But if this is new to you, it is real and it is something that needs to be addressed. So at least register, get started. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call our office. I appreciate it, Justin at Calyx CPA. And you got my number 541-816-4483.